Welcome to the course preview for Blue Lake Regional Park in Portland, Oregon. Blue Lake is a 101-acre park in the northeast part of Portland and is technically located in the town of Fairview. The park is on the south shore of the Columbia River and sits at the west end of the beautiful Columbia Gorge scenic area. This course was designed by world champion Dave Feldberg with collaboration from locals Jeff Haggerty and Tyler Christensen. Outdoor store Next Adventure also played a big part, as did dozens of other volunteers. The course is open year-round from 8 o'clock in the morning till sunset. There's a $5 parking fee. It's outfitted with multiple concrete tee pads and disc catcher baskets. Blue Lake is a very flat course, and so it's cart-friendly. And just know that the course can get pretty boggy in the winter, so plan accordingly. OB is everywhere here, and for the most part, anything that gets into the deep grass is going to be OB. Although this course is relatively young, there is already a lot of history associated with Blue Lake. Most famously, it hosted the final round of the 2014 World Championships, the epic playoff battle between Ricky Wysocki and Paul McBeth. And now, on to the course. Blue Lake starts off with a 425 tweener type of hole. It's really a 3.5 hole. When the pros come to town, they play it as a par 3. And it's a challenging par 3, but for us mere mortals, we play it as a par 4. A lot of rollers get thrown on this, although as is the case with mini holes out here at Blue Lake, you have OB to deal with on both sides, and long on this one, so be careful of that. And here's your green. Hole 2 continues along Blue Lake Road, and if you've got a big forehand, this is the hole for it. The tree on the right of these two is a Mando tree. You have to go Mando left of that tree, so they don't want you throwing out over the road and out of bounds on the tall grass to the left. So you got to stay in the fairway and slide into this green right here. Hole 3, another par 4. This is a long, winding left dogleg. On your first shot, if you don't have the Simon kind of cannon to get over the top of everything, you want to try and get up around this corner to give yourself a straight look. And it gives you an approach shot that is a pretty long tunnel shot. But if you can get up far enough off the tee and get up here with a good tunnel shot, you can give yourself a chance at a birdie here. Hole number 4, very short par 3 for this course, one of the shorter holes here. Really not much to it, just a straight shot right down the gut. The green narrows as you get close to it. Hole number 5 comes in at 575 feet. It's a par 4, and it is a long sweeping dogleg to the right this time. There's this big embankment right here that we're going over. You want to get right into this gap to the left of that tree. And again, you have OB to your right, OB to your left, and OB long. So you have to carefully gauge your distance as you're coming in on your approach shot. Hole number 6, I'm showing you a shot from 2014 Worlds just to show you the difference between the vegetation, how low everything is back then compared to now. You see it's really grown up a lot. So hole 6 is one of the other real short ones on this, and it's a pretty straightforward shot. You really just need to throw something right up the gut here. At 270 feet, it's reachable for most players. Slide in here hopefully for your 2. Hole number 7 is where that 2014 Worlds famously ended up. This was the final hole of the battle between Ricky and Paul. It is a long, pretty straight shot that is framed on both sides by trees. You also have road OB to the right, and you have blackberries OB to the left. And you'll be sliding in here to a well-guarded green, hopefully to be able to pick up your 4. Now back in 2014, when they finished on this hole, it was back behind the fence on a mound. You see like this picture shows. I want to show that just to show how it is now compared to back then. After Worlds, that hole was no longer used, and so the mound is just kind of grown and is overgrown now. So here's a shot of Paul making the winning putt back in 2014, and it was right over there, right up to there. So there's the mound, and famous part of history. It's pretty well overgrown now. Anyway, back to the course. Hole number 8 is a forehand player's dream. You have to get over this ravine, which is out of bounds. If you throw a backhand shot, you have to deal with 3 or 4 of those dead guardian trees, but pretty easy one to drop in with your forehand. Hole 9 is a par 4, 515-foot shot that looks like crop patterns to me. But most guys will go into the middle area there and then try and get up here into the green for a birdie putt. But if you're Garrett Gurthey, this shot from 2019 shows, you just throw a bomb all the way there. Thing looks like a UFO flying through, speaking of crop circles. But Garrett parked it about 20 feet away back in 2019, and that was an amazing shot to watch. And yes, he did make the putt. Hole number 10 is the last of the relatively easy, and I say relatively, but relatively easy holes on this course because the teeth of the course really do begin to come out after this hole. But a 295-foot par 3 from left to right comes into this green with OB back behind. Hole number 11, 670 feet, par 4. This hole really is set up in 2 parts. Most guys are going to want to get to the right of that tree out in the middle there. That'll give you the best look through this gap, and then you need to get over the top of these trees right here and drop something into this grassy area right here that we're dropping down into. That will hopefully get you set up for your birdie look, but most guys are very content with a par 4. This is a tough hole. Hole number 12 at 400 feet probably has the most narrow gap coming off the tee that you have to hit. It's very tough to negotiate that. Once you get through this spot here, then things open up, and it really is a pretty clear shot into the green. Although there are a number of guardian trees all around the basket, there is a pretty decent sized gap coming in right here. Hole number 13 is a gift for somebody with a big arm. It's one shot to about here, another one up, and you've got your birdie look. It is a par 4 and pretty treacherous rough. If you get off on the right, it can be tough to get out of there. Hole number 14 is a par 5, and it has 2 islands in it, as you'll see. You get out of the gap here, and then things open up for you. There's island number 1 and island number 2. So those are OB inside of those islands, as is right and left again. Low hanging branches, so you can either throw a hyzer in where it's not as obstructed, or come in with a low approach shot to the green right here. Hole number 15, 780 foot par 4. It's a tough hole. You try and get out as close as you can to this path right here in this tree, even beyond if you have the arm for it, and then it begins to dogleg left for you. So you get a shot coming into the green right here, and again, pretty tight OB on both sides. Not really long, unless you go really long there, but pretty tough hole. Hole number 16 doesn't get much easier here, as we've got a long par 4 that really narrows up here, a little wider for you here, and then narrow again. So you want to try and get into that spot we just passed over, get your second shot up into here, and if you've got the arm and a nice approach shot, you can get yourself a birdie look. But otherwise, just most people are going to be content to take their 4 on this one. Hole number 17, probably the toughest on the course, is a par 5 that begins pretty mildly, but things get tighter and tighter. So about a third of the way through, you come through this gap. Things remain fairly open here, and then as you'll see, it becomes pretty thickly wooded coming through here. So there are multiple lines that you can take. None of them are great. This is probably about the best line you can take if you follow along the way the drone is flying. And we were treated to a retreat, I guess, back in, I think it was 2015, when Paul Macbeth famously threed this for an eagle, and it was a drop-in eagle. I'll show you a look at that here.
Get through. Get through. Yeah!
Unbelievable. Our final hole, hole 18, is a 600-foot par 4. And once you get out of the gate here, you come out, you see Blue Lake Road on your right. Come out toward this tree that we're coming to here, and then begin to curl around this corner, leaving you either a big old spike hyzer out to the right side if you choose, or if you prefer, depending on where you end up and the size of your arm, you can do this low tunnel shot coming into the bucket. And that wraps up our course. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time.